Hey everybody, it's Josie here. I am going to be doing my TBR for the month of October, and because it's October and I freaking love Halloween, in case anyone hadn't noticed, I am going to be doing all of my videos dressed up as not myself but as some sort of a character. Today's look, thinking I was kind of going for Wednesday Addams as a 16-year-old teenager if she was into goth and metal. So that's kind of the look today. And I've got a bit of metal playing in the background, one of my favourite bands, so hopefully that kind of just sets the scene. Bit of my Halloween themed decor at the back as well, so, you know, we're setting the spooky theme. Obviously, all of these books on my TBR are spooky themed. A lot of them are also going to be included in my various readathons that I'm doing for the month, so I am doing, God help my eyes, 3 readathons, as well as all of these. Now, like I said, I would probably just pass out from reading if I don't include most of these in my readathons. I'll be doing a separate video for each one of those, just announcing the books I'm going to read. I've already done my books in the freezer announcement, which is already running, so it's the 1st of October to the 14th of October, so it gives a nice long time to read the 5 books in those for those challenges, and I will start with those books because they're on my TBR. So the first one is this one over here, is Coraline and Other Stories by Neil Gaiman. I'm fairly sure anybody and everybody knows Coraline. I don't have to explain that one. Awesome movie. And then also this is a bunch of short stories in it, which I'm really looking forward to. Neil Gaiman is a great writer. He always creates this kind of weird, wacky characters, so really looking forward to that one. And it's a really cute cover as well, a mouse and a cat. The second one that I'm reading for Books in the Freezer is Alice by Christina Henry. Now, I know this has gotten some sort of mixed reviews that I've seen online and also on Goodreads, so I am looking forward to this. I adore Alice in Wonderland, and I adore any sort of dark retelling of that as well, and I've actually got another book on this TBR that is also an Alice retelling, so I'm really looking forward to this, and if it's good I'm going to get the sequel, which I think is called The Red Queen. Third book, Books in the Freezer, is this one over here, The Lords of Salem. I've started reading this. It is good. I'm enjoying myself. It is dark and it is bloody, as you would expect from Mr. Rob Zombie. The premise of this one is you start off in Salem back in the time of the witch trials, 1600s, 1700s, and that basically what happened there, the town is now, the town of Salem, Massachusetts, I guess is haunted, you could say, by what happened back then, and, you know, the Lord of Darkness wants his revenge. So it's good. It's a fun ride during that. The second last book I'm reading for Books in the Freezer is this one over here, Poppy Sebright, Lost Souls. I freaking love this book. I adore Poppy Sebright. I love all her writing. For those of you not familiar with her, she is, I mean, it's such a cult 90s horror writer, very much compared, I guess, to Anne Rice at the time, but I just adore her. She's darker, she writes queer characters, just awesome. This book is about vampires, it's predominantly set in New Orleans, there's this fabulous band, the title is Lost Souls is the band name, and there's a lot of, if you go online, there's a lot of like fanfic, and people write lyrics for the band and all sorts of good things, and I read this book over and over again. I've even covered it in plastic. That's how much I've handled it. I love it, and every October I reread it, so yeah, it's my favourite. And then the last book for Books in the Freezer is this one over here, My Best Friend's Exorcism. Quite easily one of the best covers I've seen all year. It's basically like an old VHS tape. This is proper sort of Stranger Things vibes, and it is set in the 80s, and it's basically about 2 friends. One of them is possessed by the devil, and yeah, you know, it is about their friendship as well, and I'm told that it's fantastic. It is a horror book, but it can also be quite emotional, which I'm really looking forward to, and like I said, just the best cover ever, and Grady Hendrix is supposed to be amazing as well. So this is the first of 2 I've got by him. Then books that are not for that YouTubeathon is this one over here. We've got City of Ghosts by V.E. Schwab. Now, I love Victoria Schwab, and her sort of Conjuring of Light series over there I read and I absolutely adored. They're all like 4 or 5 star reads for me, so really looking forward to this one. This one is more kind of young adult, middle grade young adult, and again, besides it being an awesome cover, it is about a young girl who moves with her parents to Edinburgh, and they are actually ghost hunters, paranormal kind of hunters, and she sees ghosts. She had a near-death experience and she can see and talk to ghosts. Sounds awesome. I'm hoping there'll be another one actually. I've heard some talk that there might be another one. And yeah, Victoria Schwab's writing is usually, well, is always, in my experience, beautiful and well written, so really looking forward to that one. The next one I have is just another great cover. This one is Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessel. Now, I know a lot of people have read Night Film, which I haven't read, and that's been recommended to me quite a few times, so I'll probably pick that one up as well. But this one just sounds wonderfully suitable for the season. Basically, it feels a little bit like an American kind of teen horror movie to me. So 4 friends, there's a car accident, and then something comes back to haunt them, and they've got to decide who lives or dies. It's kind of giving me those I Know What You Did Last Summer type of vibes by the synopsis. So yeah, can't wait to read that one. Should be good. The next one is one of the many books that I seem to own with the word wicked in the title. So this is Wicked Like a Wildflower. And this one, I have to say, when I read the blurb on the back, it sounds very much like Practical Magic, which is not a bad thing. Actually, it sounds a bit like a darker version of Practical Magic. So again, you have sisters, you have a family history of witchcraft, you have a mother warning them not to use their abilities, and for God's sake, don't fall in love. And, you know, it sounds, like I said, it sounds really beautiful. It reminds me of Practical Magic. I love, love, love anything with witches, as you could probably tell, and there's going to be more witch books. So right up my alley, really looking forward to this one. Stuck in soon. The next one is the other Alice retelling on my list, and that is A Blade So Black. Again, gorgeous cover shot. Love that the protagonist in this book is a lady of colour, a person of colour. It's so good to have different perspectives and different points of view, and just a diversity in books. And it is actually weirdly hard to find, so I love that about this. And this again is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and it's set in modern day Atlanta, but it seems like Alice has to go into a nightmare reality and ward off and fight off demons and monsters, and she's been trained to fight and kill. So it's, I guess it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Alice in Wonderland. And yeah, I've been told that there might be some queer content, I'm hoping. So yeah, so this one looks really good. Really, really looking forward to that one. The next one is, I'll be honest, I picked this up after reading the 4 lines on the back of the book. And this is The Monstrous Child by Francesca Simon. And I'll read you what I read, what made me sort of buy the book. So it says, "Before you reject me, before you hate me, remember, I never asked to be Hell's Queen." Sounds amazing, right? Okay, it sounds amazing to me because I am obsessed with the TV program Lucifer, and I love that whole idea of kind of the heaven and hell and gods and monsters and the devil and giving them personality and character. And she is a teenage queen of darkness and queen of the undead and queen of hell, and that just to me is just the perfect book. So that's all I needed. That is all I needed from this book, and I am hoping it doesn't let me down because it sounds fantastic. Then the next one, I was waxing lyrical about Neil Gaiman, and I've just dropped my book, so I'm going to go grab it. I was waxing lyrical about Neil Gaiman earlier, and this is another Neil Gaiman book, and it's The Ocean at the End of the Lane. This one has received nothing but amazing reviews from people, so high expectations. And I think the basic premise on this one is about a man who is kind of, certain events happened in his past, there's a bit of a darkness inside of him, and he's hanging on to those memories and thinking about what happened in the past. And it sounds spooky, but it also sounds like a bit of a psychological thriller. So Neil Gaiman's writing is always beautiful. His character's always weird, and just that's great. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Can't wait to read it. I say that a lot. The next one is How to Hang a Witch. Again, witches, Salem, the same sort of premise in the fact that what happened in the past in Salem, the witch trials, kind of comes back to bite the current day inhabitants in the butt. And you've got a bit of a romance in this one. I'm hoping it's not going to be insta-love. But it's still, I'll forgive it. It's got witches, it's got Salem. That's right up my alley. So yeah. The next one, funnily enough, is about witches. It's the spell book of The Lost and Found. This I've had hanging around for almost a year now because I bought it and then I suddenly went, oh god, I need to read it in October, so I need to just leave it. And that's been really hard because this also has received some incredible reviews. I've heard people talking about it and saying how awesome it is, and I've been dying to get to it, so finally I can. This one, again, I suppose a bit like the other book, Wicked Like a Wildflower, in terms of a family and friends and mysterious girls and things go missing and books on magic, and it makes me feel a little bit like Practical Magic, only more magical, less realism. It all just sounds really great. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, just sounds fantastic. The next one is, I don't know where I get these from, but it's about witches. And it's The Price Guide to the Occult. And again, another really gorgeous cover. I'm really loving the covers at the moment. They're really beautiful. And this one, again, the first sort of the blurb on the back of it, that someone has actually reviewed, says, an atmospheric, blood-drenched, dark fantasy for a cold and stormy night. Well, it is currently very cold and very stormy, and it is evening, so I should probably start reading this. But it is, again, about a family kind of curse, but a family history of witchcraft. There is a spell book, I believe, involved that can grant spells for a price, hence The Price Guide to the Occult. So again, just like the other three, sort of practical magic-y, witchy families, you know, curses and whatnot. Yeah, totally my jam, obviously. The second to last book is this one over here. Now, this book, so I'll hold it up, it's Alice and Frida Forever. This one has kind of, it came to me in a really interesting way by total accident. So I was in a library in London, they were doing a bit of a sale where they were kind of selling off some of their books. And this one was in a pile of books. I think I paid like 20p for it. But it just sounded really interesting. So it's basically, the blurb on the back is, it's set in 1892 and it's about the fact that America at the time was obsessed with the story of a teenager murdering someone. She committed a crime. And it turns out she murdered her lover, her female lover, which apparently in 1892 was not the done thing. But what I didn't realise until I kind of read the full blurb in the front was that it's actually a real story. So this really happened. And so that makes me really more interested and make me want to read it even more, because I do love things that are based, or I do read a lot of non-fiction, and I do like kind of true life crime and that. So besides that, this book is really cool. It has, I think that's picking that up, you can see it has sort of journal entries, writing, there's illustrations about like the courtroom, and it's all about her trial and, you know, what happened. And apparently this trial really gripped America, and obviously the fact that these two girls were gay in a time where that wasn't really appreciated, it makes it sound really interesting. And yeah, I think this will be a good one. And then the last one in this pile of wonderful, wonderful books is this one over here, and it's called Horror Store by Grady Hendrix again. This is a book that, even if I don't like it, and I'm pretty sure I will like it, because I have not heard a bad word said about it yet, but look at this book. This is a book that I will be keeping regardless of what I feel about it. The design is so freaking clever. I wish I'd come up with this. So basically it looks like a furniture catalogue for a fictional IKEA. So the premise, and again, I don't want to know any more than this, but the premise is kind of a haunted IKEA. So there's a bunch of staff that I believe that work in the store, and it's called Orsk. So you can see there's a store at the bottom, but you know, it's IKEA. And yeah, there's sort of a haunting that goes on in the store. Now, I think the most fabulous thing would be to be stuck in an IKEA or, you know, other stores available type store overnight. No? Just me? Okay, I think it would be fabulous, but I think this is a really, really, really clever concept for a book, and I'm really expecting good things from this. And like I said, even if it isn't great, it's just such a fabulous book as a physical book. So that's it. So that is currently my TBR for the month. Lots to get through. I'm planning to read all of these on physical copy. I will be doing my individual TBRs for the other read-a-thons that I'm taking part in, and then I'll do my wrap-ups for those, wrap-up for the end of the month, and you'll no doubt see me in other weird and wonderful looks. So thanks for watching, and stay spooky. Bye!